Hello students, welcome to lecture number 12 of Computer Architecture course. The topic of today is Pipelined MIPS Data Path and HDU. So far in the course you've learned about how to design pipelined architecture. You've also seen about the different types of hazards that are involved in the pipeline architecture of MIPS, starting from data hazard, structural hazard, and finishing with the control hazard. In today's lecture, what we're going to look at is how do we handle the parallelism that is involved in pipelining multiple instructions in parallel. Okay, how does it actually go through the flow of the MIPS data path when we go from one instruction to the next? Of course, it will be part of what we have learned as part of the pipelining course, which is to break the instructions into 5 different stages, but we will see how these 5 different stages actually traverse through the MIPS data path today. Okay, so let us get started. Okay, so this is the MIPS data path that you're having on your screen, and as I had spoken to you earlier, that the major blocks are the one that starts with the instruction memory, which gets its address from the program counter. Now, how is LW executed in a single cycle data path? So if you assume the instruction fetch, so the block that you see here, the first one which is marked in red, is the block which is actually responsible for the instruction fetch process. So this is the hardware block being used in the IF stage, which is that we read the instruction memory of the MIPS data path. Moving forward in the instruction decode, what we are trying to do is that we will read the source registers from the register file. So therefore, the one marked in red, which is the register file along with the extension unit, which is doing the extension of the 16-bit number to 32-bit. So this entire thing is therefore part of the ID stage of the MIPS data path. In the next stage, we see instruction execute. So in this, what we are doing, we are effectively computing the memory address from the source register and the instructions constant field, and therefore this part of the hardware block, which is the one containing the ALU and the 2:1 multiplexer, they are marked in red because they are responsible for performing the respective execute operation of the 5-stage pipelining here, and the respective control signals that needs to be activated in this stage is ALU SRC and ALU operation. Moving forward, in the memory stage, we have the mem step that involves reading the data memory from the address computed by the ALU. So therefore, the red block that you see here comprises of the following, which is the data memory where we actually have the address where we need to store the data, and we also read the data in case it's a load word and put it back into the register. So this is the hardware block being used in the mem stage. And finally, in the write back stage, we again go back to the register file along with the 2:1 multiplexer. So these two hardware components are used in the write back stage of the MIPS pipeline data path, along with the multiplexer unit that you see at the output of the data memory. Now what happens if you try to do 2 instructions in parallel? So let's say if you try to do 2 instructions in parallel, so the first instruction, okay, that has already traversed through the instruction fetch stage has now moved forward into the instruction decode stage. So therefore, this blue box that you see, the blue encircled box that you see here, is actually indicating the first instruction decode, okay, while the second instruction is right now in the fetching stage. So therefore, this yellow colored encircled box is referring to the hardware component that is responsible for fetching, while the blue colored box is responsible for decoding process. So therefore, you see the overlap of 2 instructions are happening within a single data path at the architecture level. Now if you try to pipeline 3 consecutive instructions, what now happens is the first instruction now progresses into the execute stage that comprises of the ALU and the 2:1 multiplexer, which is marked in green box. So that is the hardware block being used in the execute stage of the first instruction, while the blue box is now having the second instruction decoding process. So the instruction decode is now for the second instruction, and the execute is happening for the first instruction, and instruction fetch is happening for the third instruction. Okay, so three things are now happening in parallel, as you could see, which are marked in yellow color for the first instruction, blue color for the second instruction, and green color for the first instruction. So third instruction, second instruction, and first instruction. So that's how we have three consecutive instructions being pipelined here. Similarly, you can keep doing pipelining of fourth, fifth, and so on, different types of instructions here. Okay, now let us move into the hazard detection unit, which we call as HDU. So let us try to understand what HDU performs and how does it operate. So this is used in context of the data hazard and is used in order to detect if there is a data hazard in the pipeline of the MIPS data path. So what is the condition for data hazard? The first thing is the HDU operates in the ID stage so that it can insert the stall or bubble between the load and its use. Okay, so basically checking for the LW instruction. Therefore, the control for HDU through this condition is performed as follows, where the first thing is if ID/EX, which is the pipeline register, dot memread, okay, that is we are trying to read, and ID/EX dot register RT equals to IF/ID dot register RS, or ID/EX dot register RT equals to IF/ID dot register RT. If this condition is satisfied, or if this condition comes out to be true, then we stall the pipeline due to the data hazard. So basically the first line of this piece of code refers to test if the instruction that we are currently checking is a LW instruction. This is because the only instruction that reads our data memory is basically load. Okay, so we are reading from the data memory by making this statement, which is ID/EX dot memread. Okay, so once we know that this is a load instruction, the next thing is to see if the destination register field of the load instruction in the execute stage matches with either source register of the instruction in the ID stage. Okay, so therefore this is actually checking the destination register field of the load, which is ID/EX register RT equals to IF/ID dot register RS, which is the source register of the instruction in the ID stage, and it could also be IF/ID dot register RT. So if the destination register, okay, is utilizing the information of the source register of the instruction in the ID stage, which is either register RS or RT, then we will need to stall the pipeline due to the hazards. So therefore, if the condition holds, then the instruction stalls on clock cycle. Now this can also be seen through the diagram that I put here. So basically the utilization of HDU can be done by integrating HDU unit with the existing MIPS data path as follows. So you have an HDU unit that you see here, and the inputs of this HDU unit comes from the IDEX, okay, which is the stage between the register file and the ALU, that is instruction decode and execute. Okay, from here you can employ a signal into the HDU, which is ID/EX dot memread, which indicates if it is a load instruction or LW instruction, because the only instruction that is reading a memory is ID/EX from the pipeline register is LW. So that's why it's an LW instruction that is basically being checked here, and the other input that goes into here is the information that you see from here, which is the ID/EX dot register RT, which is the destination register number of the LW instruction, and the source registers are IF/ID dot register RS, that is also being fed as part of the input, and second is IF/ID dot register RT, that is also being fed as one of the inputs. So these two inputs go into the HDU along with the input which is marked in the blue line, along with the input which is marked in the blue line after ID/EX pipeline register into the HDU. The output of the HDU is the output signal that goes into the PC, which is a program counter given as PC write, and also one of the other signals that goes into the IFID write, which is the instruction fetch, instruction decode pipeline register, and the other signal from here is the one that actually tells the controller what needs to be done if it is a stalling process. Okay, so therefore we have a controller whose output is going into the multiplexer along with a 0 control signal, and this multiplexer is being controlled by the output of the HDU as a select line. So the select line will become activated for this input, which is 0, in case we need to do a stalling process. Okay. Now why this is happening is because if the instruction in the ID stage is stalled, okay, then the instruction in the IF stage must also needs to be stalled. Otherwise you would lose the fetched instruction, isn't it? Because if you are stalling an instruction in the ID stage, then obviously the instruction in the IF stage must also needs to be stalled or stopped temporarily. Otherwise you will lose the fetched instruction. Now preventing these two instructions from making progress is just simply accomplished by preventing the PC register and the IFID pipeline register from changing. So therefore we have these output signals from the HDU that actually controls this PC and the IFID, because these signals tells the PC register and the IFID pipeline register to not change their values. That is, provided that these registers are preserved, the instruction in the IF stage will continue to be read using the same PC, and the registers in the ID stage will continue to be read using the same instruction fields in the IFID pipeline register. So if you don't change the value of PC and IFID, then you would be able to read the information from the PC and the IFID pipeline register using the same place. Okay, but if you do allow it to change, then obviously we are losing the fetched instruction. So that is the reason behind doing this. Okay, so HDU unit is clear that these are the input signals which are coming from this part, and the two green input and the blue input, and this deep blue input coming from the output of IDX pipeline register, and the output is into the multiplexer as well as into the IFID as well as into the PC. Okay, thank you so much, and in the next lecture we will look into the processor memory bottleneck problem, and we'll slowly get into the memory architecture side of it. Okay, thank you.